All right, just finished up a trap workout. Dedicated the whole workout to traps this morning. Definitely upped the volume. Ended up doing 8 sets of 3 different exercises. Did some barbell shrugs. Did some seated dumbbell shrugs and then some standing dumbbell shrugs. 8 sets each. Really felt good. Let's talk about traps real quick. Traps is just one of them muscles that you can continue to train over and over. It's kind of like biceps, right? They recover really quick, and there's nothing more sick than a really good set of traps. I love training traps. I remember way back the first time I saw Goldberg. Now, mind you, I'm not a huge wrestling fan. Sorry to all those that are. I know there's those those fanatics out there that love wrestling. I'm just not the biggest fan. But I do remember looking back, or I remember way back in the day when I first saw Goldberg. I looked at Goldberg and I said, dude, traps. Like, first and foremost, I was like, I kind of knew what they were, but at the same time, I was like, I didn't really know much about it. I mean, we're talking way back. But all I knew is that when I saw Goldberg's traps, it was just something as like, I want that. I want those, right? And I would just, do my best to figure out what movements to do, what exercises. I would read, I'd talk to people, I'd ask, hey, you saw Goldberg, and, people would want to talk about, the wrestling match, and I'm talking about, Goldberg's traps. And then it was just like, I wanted it, right? So I get in the gym and I would put so much emphasis on building traps over everything, over arms, abs, you name it. It was all about traps. And come to find out, traps are just so important to so many different things, especially powerlifting. Traps just, again, help hold the bar and squat, are huge for your deadlift. You use, if you bench, appropriately when it comes to powerlifting for strength, you dig your traps into the bench. There's just so much that traps play a role in. Then there's the appearance, right? Then there's the look. And there's nothing that shows hard work and just literally an awesome look than having really awesome traps. So when I saw Goldberg, it was just like, I gotta have those. And not saying that I have the biggest traps in the world, but I am saying I do train them hard. I do count them as kind of like an individual muscle group. So I incorporate them into my splits as though they're, a bicep or a back or, legs. I mean, I do traps. You cannot go wrong with traps. I just love training them. There's nothing, it just shows a sign of strength. Then it plays a role into your neck and just everything, right? So I just love traps. So I smashed traps this morning and they were really good. Also, on the same note with traps, I'm also one of these that, I think that the traps are the new abs. Now, I'm not the first one to say that. I know there's some of that quotes out there. But, traps really for me, like, I'd rather have strong and good and big traps than abs any day of the week, any day, right? So then we start talking about body image and, the so-called look of, aesthetics and people, how they look and all this kind of stuff. And, I'm always someone that, thinks that, traps should be a priority when it comes to how your training shows hard work, right? Someone's pushing hard in the gym when you can see the traps through their shirt and their back and all that. It's just something about traps that just are absolutely amazing. And when we talk about body image, I think it's a great way to represent, and I'm going to throw this kind of way out in left field. Again, this is how my brain works and kind of tying things together. When we talk about the Blood and Guts 2.0, when you guys hear me talk about, I don't care about what I look like. I really don't. I want the hard work and passion and love for this training to really show through. And if I work hard and I push myself literally every day, regardless of how I look, I'm not a bodybuilder. I have no plans to be a bodybuilder. I have no plans to step on stage and have someone subjectively kind of look at me and how the judges feel that day. They might pick me or someone else or what have you, right? So that is so far from where I'm at. Where we talk about, and what Blood and Guts 2.0 talks about, is we talk about the hard work and passion, and let that show through. And I've said this time and time again. Regardless of what you think you should look like and stepping in someone else's shoes and, you know, the Mr. Olympias of today and the, all the, swimsuit competition and, the classic physique and all this stuff. It's so muddied down. It's so watered down right now. It's crazy anyway. And that's another thing too. So many people can get so confused with all this stuff coming at them, all these advertising and marketing and different physiques and all this kind of stuff, right? So again, that's a whole nother rant, but Blood and Guts 2.0 is really about allowing the hard work and passion to show through. And if you train hard, you'll have a physique that shows that you work hard. You'll have that physique that someone will look at and say, that person works out, that person trains, right? They do something, and they push themselves at it. And again, throwing this out in left field, there's no better way to show that than having a nice set of traps. So, and it really just amazing. Again, traps, you can just keep training. You can go really heavy on traps. You can go really light on traps. You can have really crappy form on traps and still get good traps. You can have great form on traps. You can overload the body with weight. If you want to, build some confidence, you might not have the best form, but you can move the weight just a little bit and still build your traps. Again, just even taking the weight off the bar, off the rack, and holding weight that you're not used to is going to, first and foremost, trigger the central nervous system, and second, force your traps, force your arms, force everything to hold that weight regardless of the form. Now, we don't want anybody getting hurt, of course, so you have to obviously put your time in and work yourself up and build that muscle up and to build the traps up. But overall, I mean, you can just really do all kinds of stuff with traps. When it comes to powerlifting, traps, obviously, when it comes to deadlifting, I'm what they call a back trap kind of dominant deadlifter. I know, if you look at the picture perfect form, you engage your lats, you pull the bar back, you really kind of put the weight in the lower lat, and engage the lats. But again, I've always engaged a lot of my traps in those movements, somewhat of a rounded back kind of deadlifter. And over the years, obviously through powerlifting and competing and constantly deadlifting week after week after week, played a huge role in building traps as well. So definitely deadlift. If you want big traps, deadlift for sure. But again, barbell shrugs, dumbbell shrugs, trap bar shrugs, seated shrugs. Reverse behind the back shrugs. You can even, again, as I said in videos, you can manipulate an upright row with a very close grip to hit your traps. There's just so much you can do. So I'm going to stop because I'll keep going on traps. But I just end with this. I remember back looking at Goldberg, and if you guys know Goldberg back in the day, those traps. So here we are today with a trap workout. And absolutely killed it. So I'm going to leave it there. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll definitely jump into some questions and comments at some point. Things are moving in the right direction. Can't thank you all enough for the constant growth of the channel. We're well over 17,000 subscribers. And one thing, if you notice, I'm sorry, one more thing. If one thing you've noticed too, I'm not one that says, please subscribe. Listen, I don't care. If you subscribe, you do. If you don't, you don't. If you view it, you view it. If you don't, you don't. Remember, this is not about that. We're creating quite the following just by, again, through the love and passion to train. And of course, you've heard my rants about the old school and the new school. We're just growing. The channel's growing, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. But again, I'm not someone that's going to promote and push and like almost sound forced, like please and beg. You guys know who you are. We're picking up followers and subscribers because of what this channel is all about, regardless of, I don't even have to explain a lot about the channel. But anyway, I'm going to stop. We'll see you guys for the next lift tomorrow and absolutely kill it today. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Let's go!